Okay, so the day that I hired a virtual assistant, it was 2007. The world was on fire. In fact, I was a real estate guy in 2006, and the market was crazy. If you had a pulse, people would like, okay, he can get a mortgage. Okay, let him buy a house. Want an investment property? No problem. So 2006 was a wild time. You could get anything you wanted in terms of a home. And we were doing really well as a company. 2007 came and the whole world stopped. And the first quarter of 2007, I had 90% of my revenue leave. If, as a business owner, think about that. Making $100, and all of a sudden the next quarter I made $10. I mean, it was an insane time. And the whole impetus for me hiring a virtual assistant is I needed help, meaning we were rebuilding our business. We had gone after a new segment, a new customer type, and really kind of focused on investors and REOs and short sales, which was the only thing available at the time. Those were the only players in the market. And so, we were starting to get busy. I refocused our business. It took about 6 months. The first half of 2007, I'm scratching my head like, how do I survive? In fact, I remember this moment. I'm driving down my street from my house, and I was super stressed out, and I was thinking, man, should I just get a job? Like, maybe this business entrepreneurship thing isn't for me. And that was like, and I paused for 2 seconds, and I was like, nah, I'll figure this out, and we just kept going. So I hired a virtual assistant because we started getting busy, and I needed help with paperwork. It was my first hire, and I'm not a details person. Like, I don't want to review hundreds of pages of paperwork. And if you've ever bought a house or signed a mortgage, you know that the paperwork is like off the chart insane. So I'm looking at the paperwork. I'm like, I'm tired of this. I need somebody to help me. So I hired my first virtual assistant thinking, oh my gosh, this is going to be super inexpensive. Like, this is going to be amazing. And it is inexpensive as compared to a US person. In fact, I hired somebody for $10 an hour, and if you had to hire that person in the US, they're at least $25, $30 an hour. So it's a third of the cost. And it was a big deal for me because she was smart, fluent in English, like, eloquent, college education, like experience. Like, this person was amazing. But what I didn't realize is that you actually have to train them. And so I was like, hey, I need help. Here's some paperwork. And she's like, I don't know what to do. And so I realized in that moment that I had an inexpensive, employee, like leverage. I knew I was saving money, but it required my input. And so, we put together a training plan. We actually did the whole Dr. Google, Professor YouTube, and free university, meaning, I leveraged every single resource that wasn't my time to help me train this virtual professional, and even bought a training platform. Like, we bought a training platform to teach her how to actually do the paperwork. And then I invested my time because I'm in Sacramento, California. California is different. Northern California is different than the rest of the world. So I had to teach her how to do it at my company and how I wanted it done. And so these are the lessons that I learned from hiring my first virtual assistant that we carry through and teach our customers today. It's really important that you have a system and process for onboarding and training. And once you have somebody in that spot, you get what's called compound leverage. Because once you teach them a job and you give them away that job, means here's the job, I never want to do it again. They'll own that thing, and then you'll get time freedom for the rest of your career. And that's happened to me over and over and over. I've given away things and I've gotten time back in my day. That is the story about my first virtual assistant.